We responded to this residence last night, and we're in the process of excavating a scene in which a missing person who was 74 years of age that lived at the home is currently being recovered, her remains. We believe she has been missing since September of last year, of 18. And we have our lab personnel out along with Western Michigan Forensic Anthropology and our own anthropology unit that is doing the excavation on the remains.
Do we know how long she's been buried, maybe when she may have died?
We will likely have more information on that as the investigation progresses, but at this point, we believe probably around September of 2018.
Any idea on how she died?
We don't know that yet, and we won't know that until Western Michigan University Anthropology does the forensic anthropology and the medical forensics do their autopsy.
Chuck, can you tell us what's happening right now? It seems like the body has been retrieved.
Mm-hmm. We're in the process of retrieving the body from the ground in a procedural method in which we collect any evidence around the body in an excavation type retrieval.
Can you tell us the difficulty? The ground has been cold for quite some time. Mm-hmm. Explain that process to us.
Well, it has been cold for a while, which can assist in the preservation of the body, but we've also had a pretty mild winter overall, and it hasn't been too bad after we got down through a certain point of the soil to do the excavation.
What is the woman's body? What is her connection to the house? I understand that
she was a resident of the home and lived there with a family member.
Is that her daughter?
Yes.
Okay. And has the daughter been speaking? How?
Daughter has been cooperative with officers.
Is she a suspect or anything like that? Or
she's a person of interest.
Is any of this being deemed in any way suspicious? I mean, there's just so many questions regarding it all.
Well, based on the circumstances, of course, with where the body is located, the fact that she's been missing for some time, we would call that suspicious. To bring it up to a higher level is going to determine the autopsy and what those results are, which we won't have for a few days.
Chuck, can you remind us the law? It is illegal to bury.
That's correct. It is. Yes.
Okay.
So in other words, if this woman had passed even by natural causes, if her daughter buried her on this property, that is something that's not permitted.
That is against the law to do that.
What happens if this woman did die of natural causes and they wanted to bury her on the property? What happens in that legal regard?
Well, it's going to be the same thing as would happen in any investigation. We're going to do an investigation, do a police report. That report will be reviewed by the prosecutor's office, and then a prosecutor will make a determination if charges will be filed.
And what time were you guys out here this morning? If you don't mind just giving us just a brief play-by-play,
Late last evening, one of the troopers from the Marshal Post responded out here to the scene to what we call a check welfare, meaning an individual hasn't been seen for a while, and we're just going out to do a random check to make sure that they're okay. That happened early last evening.
And then clearly, I mean, I want to say, was there a stench in the house? Was there something or anywhere around the property? Because a body is, that's pretty significant.
Right. No, not to my knowledge, there was not.
And this person was living with another individual, and you right now are kind of unsure if it might be suspicious or anything.
Well, like I said, I would call it suspicious due to the nature of what we have, but to raise it to a higher criminal level than what we have right now, we have to wait and see with additional testing that needs to be done with an autopsy.
I'm sorry. What led you to believe the woman was buried outside the house?
Through our investigation and some statements that were obtained from the original investigators late last night and early this morning, and the trooper that responded out to the scene.
So we know that we are retrieving her body. We know that this is going to take a long time to collect autopsies and evidence and things like that. Just kind of walk us through that process. What happens now moving forward, and how long that stuff can take? When can we expect some answers?
Well, I don't expect this to take a exorbitant amount of time because the autopsy will take place in a few days, and it'll take place locally over in Kalamazoo at Western, and then we will have some preliminary results at that point. Then a report will be generated by the medical examiner on the autopsy results with a cause of death and possibly a manner of death. And then at that point, the entire investigation will be wrapped up and forwarded to a prosecutor's office for a decision.
Is the 45-year-old family member in custody?
No, not at this time.
And is there anything that we know about the victim? Anything?
Just right now, preliminarily, that she was an elderly female, 74 years of age, that may have had some health issues.